Hey, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. We are now officially at the 4-week out mark from the 2025 Pittsburgh Pro. Today is April 11th. Pittsburgh Pro starts on May 11th, so we've got a bunch of updates to talk about here, starting with Derek Lunsford. So Derek actually made an appearance at the FIBO Championships, which is this weekend, the show that's going to have Sergio Oliva Jr., Andrew Jack, Sas Harati. But Derek is there like in a guest capacity. So he posted first an update on his story where he had his coach fly out and actually have a look at him in person. So you can see kind of a glimpse of Derek there in his hotel room at 4 weeks out. Not the best update. You kind of got to zoom in to really see what's going on, and the lighting's a little bit dark, but you can tell that Derek is in pretty good shape there. You're seeing a lot of detail, a lot of separation. His quads look crazy. And that was kind of the other thing that I saw Derek do at this FIBO. I guess you could call it a guest posing. He did something with Jay Cutler where they kind of redid that famous quad stomp picture, so you can see Derek's quads in that portion of the show as well. But Derek looks great. It certainly does seem like we're on track to see another Arnold Classic-esque version of Derek, maybe even better. And it's kind of hard to hide my excitement for this show. I've said 1,000 times how cool I think this Pittsburgh Pro is going to be, and I think we're spoiled in the sense not only that this lineup is so crazy, but all these big names, essentially all of them in this lineup that we've been talking about, pretty much all these guys have been posting weekly updates going into the show. So it's not like anybody's really hiding away. We just saw the guest posing from Martin at the Detroit Pro. Derek's been pretty active with posting, and we just saw him compete at the Arnold Classic and win the Arnold Classic. Nick's been posting pretty much multiple times a week. We just saw Bonac compete in Detroit and win Detroit. Krizo's been posting pretty much daily. I think we're going to talk about Krizo next. And for Classic Physique, Ruff Diesel, again, posting multiple times per week. So we're getting a lot of previews for this show as we get closer to it. So next up, I wanted to talk about Michael Krizo because I just saw all these updates that he posted on his story today. And Krizo, it was one thing talking about the amount of size that he has seemingly put on since that shoulder surgery. But the other thing, looking at these updates on Krizo's story, not only is he clearly a mass monster, but he looks like he's in really good condition. I mean, this update where he's just kind of standing in front of the mirror, you see vascularity all over. He's got that grainy look to his physique. You can see a lot of detail, but he's also like bursting full. You saw the side chest and side tricep video he posted the other day, the fullness of his chest from the side. But looking at him here, I mean, he looks like he's in crazy shape, just grainy detail all over, super vascular. And like I said, just that same mass monster quality that he's always had of just being this big, round, full freak. I think Krizo could surprise a lot of people here. I mean, most of this conversation has been Nick, Martin, and Derek. But honestly, Krizo looks better than ever in these updates. I'm really surprised with how good he's been able to recover from this surgery and, almost look even better than he did before. I mean, I was kind of thinking Nick, Martin, and Derek would be in the top three. Again, no particular order. And then I felt like the bottom three of the top six would be Bonac, Krizo, and Good Vito. But I don't know, maybe Krizo has a shot at cracking into that top three here. I mean, he looks really good. So not only do we get to see three of the best bodybuilders in the world compete here with Nick, Martin, and Derek, but I feel like there is a high potential for maybe an upset. Maybe one of these guys, whether it's Krizo, Good Vito, even Bonac, maybe breaking into that, what we think would be the top three. But I will say, I mean, honestly, I was kind of pleasantly surprised to see the updates that we've been seeing from Krizo. He definitely looks better than I expected him to look coming back from that shoulder surgery. And honestly, he might look better than he did before. Now, next up in the news, also at 4 weeks out, we got a series of new updates from Nick Walker today in his parents' basement. We got a most muscular, we got a front lat spread, we got a side chest, back double bicep, and a back lat spread. All of them actually in posing trunks so you can see his full physique. And I will say, I don't know if it's the angle here, and it very well could be. But he looks a little top-heavy in some of the front shots. The front lat spread, the most muscular. It's still, at least in those pictures, doesn't look like the lower body has came up in a significant way, particularly his quads. I mean, from the side, you look at like the side chest, his legs look really good. And even in the back double, in the back lat spread, his legs look proportional to the upper body. But like I said, it could be the angle. I think the one in particular that really seemed that way, the top-heavy thing, was the front lat spread, which obviously is not one of Nick's bread and butter poses, but he just looked a little top-heavy in that picture. It could entirely be the angle, but that was just kind of the impression that I got from those. I think Nick will be top 3 here. It's hard for me to envision anybody beating Derek at this show after what we saw at the Arnold, but then again, going into the Arnold, I think everybody thought it was hard to envision Samson getting beaten at the Arnold. And that's exactly what happened. So it's hard to say. I mean, maybe Derek could come in here and be off and lose, and one of these guys could pull off a major upset. That's totally possible. And I mean, that's part of the risk that Derek is taking here doing this show that he doesn't need to do. And when I say he doesn't need to, in the sense that, he just beat the reigning Mr. Olympia at the Arnold. He's already qualified because he's a Mr. Olympia champ. He doesn't need to re-qualify for 2025. So he is taking a little bit of a risk here. I still think that risk is very minute. I don't think that the chance is high that Derek will lose this show, but I think that chance does exist. And again, anything is possible in bodybuilding, but that's the risk that Derek is taking. And really, how much risk is it really, considering he did beat the reigning Mr. Olympia at the Arnold? That's kind of a level of momentum that would be pretty hard to kill. But then if he gets beaten by someone unexpected, like Martin or Nick, these are guys that, Martin was 4th at the Olympia, Nick was 3rd a few years back. Michael Krizo's best Olympia placing was 7th. Good Vito is kind of a newcomer, so if any of those guys were to beat him, it would certainly slow down the momentum that he had from beating Samson. And, people tend to only remember your last show, but still, beating Mr. Olympia outside of the Olympia is a pretty big achievement that I don't think, even if Derek lost Pittsburgh, which I don't think he will, I don't think it would slow him down that much. Because, look, he's in Germany right now. He could argue, look, I didn't take this prep as, seriously as the Arnold. I was traveling. I was doing guest appearances overseas. And so if he was off and for some reason lost this show, I could see the argument that, well, he just wasn't at his best, and when he's at his best, he can beat Mr. Olympia. Because honestly, in that earlier story, I was surprised to see Derek in Germany 4 weeks away from Pittsburgh. And when I saw that Derek was there in Germany for the FIBO, I went back and double-checked the competitor list to make sure, maybe Derek, I thought maybe he was going to jump in this lineup at the last minute or something crazy like that, because I couldn't imagine the incentive would be that great to go to Germany 4 weeks out from a show. But those are kind of the 3 big updates for men's open bodybuilding going into Pittsburgh. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Those are pretty much the 3 big names that we haven't seen on stage recently. We saw Martin do the guest posing. We saw Good Vito win the South America show. We saw Bonac win Detroit. So Krizo, Nick, and Derek are the 3 guys that haven't competed as recently, so their updates are a little bit more telling. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Of these 3 guys, who do you think is going to place the highest in Pittsburgh? Now, next up in the news, we've got some classic physique updates for the Pittsburgh Pro, specifically from Terrence Ruffin, Ruff Diesel. And I saw him tag me in this story earlier today, and I actually remember talking about this update back in 2022, and he's comparing 4 weeks out from the Arnold of 2022, which he ended up winning. And I specifically remember this update because I remember talking about, actually it's 5 weeks out, he says, 5 weeks out from each, even though we're 4 weeks out now. I guess this was 5 weeks out from the Arnold, 5 weeks out from Pittsburgh. But I remember specifically being surprised at how soft he looked, particularly from the back, being that close to the show. And the turnaround was amazing. The fact that he was able to win that show was pretty impressive. But the comparison is night and day. Obviously, the lighting is better in the second picture, the one where he's prepping for Pittsburgh. You got to consider the fact that it's posing room lighting, so it's going to be better than what looks like a living room in the other picture. But, the difference is just night and day. Look how much more clearly and much more dug out the hamstrings are, how much drier he is from the back, the glutes, the hams, the detail in his lats. I think the difference here is just insane. And that's kind of why, every update that we've seen from Terrence, I just kind of say the same thing. This is like one of the best looks that I think Terrence has ever had. And I think that's showing to be true when you compare previous looks that he had that did really well. Again, that look that you're looking at on the left in the blue trunks, he ended up winning the Arnold, looking like that at 5 weeks out. I think it's like undeniable looking at these comparisons that this is maybe the best Terrence has ever looked. So I think we're on track to see something special at the Pittsburgh Pro this year. Now, the final story that I've got for you guys today, the Arnold Classic UK. So the last video we did, they announced it would be returning in 2026. We now know the exact dates for that competition. It will be March 27th to March 29th, 2026. So it looks like we're going to be getting a pretty similar a similar situation to 2024. It's going to be essentially right after the Arnold Classic Ohio, just 3 weeks later, I believe. So we probably will get to see that same rematch that we got to see in 2024. Obviously, it'll probably be different guys, but we had Samson and Hadi compete in Ohio. Then they both went to UK. Then you had Wesley Vissers win in Ohio. Then he went and also won in UK, the Classic Physique title. So if you enjoyed that element of the 2024 back-to-back UK and US Arnold Classics, now I've got good news for you because it looks like that's what you're going to get in 2026 as well. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you haven't already. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.